welcome to NDTV's World Report. Let's start with a 32-year-old Indian techie who was shot by the police in California after he allegedly stabbed his roommate with a knife earlier this month, even as his family alleged racial discrimination and demanded a thorough probe into the circumstances that led to his death. In a statement, the police has gone on to say that Mohammed Nizamuddin this is from Telangana. He was shot after he was found inside his residence in Santa Clara. This is in California. This was, he was there with a knife on the 3rd of September. He was also found pinning down his roommate, who had sustained several injuries. The police said that they were responding to a 911 call about a stabbing incident inside the house and a purported altercation that took place between Nizamuddin and his roommate that had escalated, leading to the attack. That is when the police shot at him. In fact, they were trying to rush him to the hospital, but he died on the way, while the roommate is the one who is now getting treatment at the hospital. The family has gone on to say that he faced racial discrimination. He's the one who called the police for help.
Morning at approximately 6:18 a.m., officers responded to a 911 call. As officers were responding to the location, they received information that the situation had escalated, and the suspect was now stabbing the victim. The officers saw 4 people in the hallway, including the suspect who was straddling the victim, effectively pinning the victim to the ground. The officer attempted to de-escalate the situation with verbal commands, but the suspect ignored the commands and raised their arm holding the knife to a striking position above the victim. When the officer saw the suspect's hand holding the knife come down towards the victim, the officer shot 4 times, striking the suspect with all 4 of the shots.
Now, amid the bonhomie that was seen between Donald Trump and Modi that was back on display online, here is the mixed messaging as far as Donald Trump is concerned, who says that he imposed sanctions on India to help end the war between Russia and Ukraine, while simultaneously stating that he's very close to New Delhi, extremely close to the Prime Minister of India, that is Prime Minister Modi, and that this was really, taking place at a press conference when he was questioned about countries that continue to buy oil from Russia. And that is something that he's gone on to talk about, saying that because India continues to buy oil, which is why those sanctions continue to be in place. Vishal Vivek, my colleague, joining us in order to get us the latest on this. Vishal, take us through, what does one make of this mixed messaging? On one side, he's my good friend, I'm very close to New Delhi. There have been that round of talks with the chief negotiator here from Washington, was here in the national capital in Delhi. What does this messaging really mean, the latest that we're seeing from Donald Trump?
Well, that seems to be a question that no one has an answer to, because Trump has been, towing the same line for a while now, where one time he speaks that Modi is his best friend, his good friend, but on the other hand criticizes him and also goes on to say that they've sanctioned him. So it's a typical flip-flop situation as far as the Trump administration's foreign policy is concerned. They continue to switch from one side to the other continuously. It remains to be seen what this really means, because he is also trying to arm twist Russia into accepting some new deal. So all of that has been playing in the background, but so far the promise that he had made to stop the Ukraine war within a day of him joining the office, that is still unfulfilled, and that is why he seems to be riled up. He seems to be arm twisting his allies, his foes. All of that has sort of changed US foreign policy as well. So he seems to be confused at the moment as to what to do exactly. So all of that seems to be playing out, but he is also careful about not damaging the old ties with India that seemed to be hitting rock bottom just a few days ago. Now they have gotten back on track, so he's also trying to assuage the damage done before. So that's all we can say about Trump at the moment, but nobody knows what he'll do next.
Right, thank you so much, Vishal, for getting us the very latest. And staying with news of US President Donald Trump, who went on to say that he believes Russia's war on Ukraine could end if Europe tightened the financial screws on China. Trump said that if Europe would take economic action, which he said could be whether it's sanctions or tariffs, and that would probably maybe force an end to the war. Trump expressed the belief that ending the war in Ukraine also depends on China, as Beijing has influence, and that influence is over the Kremlin. Now, the Taliban government has ordered the removal of books written by women from Afghanistan's university curriculum as part of a new order banning the teaching of human rights and sexual harassment. Authorities have said that 680 books had been deemed of concern for containing content against Sharia and Taliban policies. Among them were 140 to be precise, 140 authored by women, including scientific works such as Safety in the Chemical Lab. Universities have also been instructed to drop 18 subjects in total, with the Taliban official claiming that they were in conflict with the principles of Sharia and the system's policy. The move is the latest in a series of sweeping restrictions imposed by the Taliban since reclaiming power 4 years ago. Let's just also get you more news in regard to Donald Trump claiming that his Russian counterpart let him down during the process of solving the war with Ukraine. UK Prime Minister has also critiqued Putin and said that he showed his true face. This is his true face with his biggest attack since the invasion. Addressing a joint press conference, this has taken place in the United Kingdom. And of course, the Samar there at Chequers, he confessed that even though he thought that the Russia-Ukraine war would be the easiest one to solve, it was not the case. However, he said that he will ultimately resolve it. That is what Donald Trump has now said.
The one that I thought would be easiest would be because of my relationship with President Putin, but he's let me down. He's really let me down. It was going to be Russia and Ukraine, but we'll see how that turns out. But that turned out to be, I thought it might be among the easiest of the group. But we had settled just about every conflict, and as you know, we're working very hard on Israel and Gaza. All that's happening over there, complex, but it's going to get done. It'll all get done right, and likewise, Russia and Ukraine will get done.
In recent days, Putin has shown his true face, mounting the biggest attack since the invasion began, with yet more bloodshed, yet more innocents killed, and unprecedented violations of NATO airspace. These are not the actions of someone who wants peace. So we've discussed today how we can build our defences further, support Ukraine, and decisively increase the pressure on Putin to get him to agree a peace deal that will last.
And it's Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov who has criticized the US rhetoric on tariffs and said that such pressure will not succeed and ancient civilizations such as India and China will not yield to ultimatums. Speaking at the Great Game program of Russia's main channel, Lavrov explained how the demands that the US has put forth for countries like China and India in order to stop purchasing Russian energy are pushing the countries further away. It forces them to look into, to be looking for new energy markets as well as new resources and forces. And that is something that's forcing them to pay more. That is what the Russian minister has said. Now, with little prospect of Ukraine joining NATO, the country's Western allies have brought into an alternative strategy as far as, deterring this is Russia now and in the future. Invest billions in Ukraine's growing and highly regarded weapons industry so that it can better defend itself from Moscow's aggression. And eventually, there will be share cutting-edge drones, missiles and other military technology as well with Europe and the United States. One recent advance in Ukraine's homegrown arsenal is what is required. This is a drone that can evade Russian jamming devices, fly more than 20 kilometers and drop 6 kilograms of guided explosives onto tanks and other high-value targets as well.
There's no drones we know that can stand against the EV machines and fly that far right now in this moment. This is why this is unique. And you can see how Ukraine, who does not have, for example, missiles that can hit enemy planes at the point where they actually making a shooting on our territory, but we use drones to destroy them.
Now, the President of the United States has suggested that some TV networks should have their licenses taken away as he backed America's broadcast regulator in a row over the suspension of the host of ABC's Jimmy Kimmel. Now, the Disney-owned network has announced that This is, with the network pulling the comedian off air indefinitely amid a backlash over his remarks about the murder of conservative influencer Charlie Kirk, who we do know has ties with Donald Trump and the close ally of Donald Trump, who died last week. Now, this is Kimmel suggesting that the suspect was a MAGA Republican, although authorities in Utah have said that the alleged gunman was, in fact, he was with leftist ideology. So therefore, of course, the comments that were made which was, of course, on his comedy show. This is all to be taken with a pinch of salt, but got him into a lot of trouble.
Well, when a late night host is on network television, there is a licensing. I'll give you an example. I read someplace that the networks were 97% against me. I get 97% negative, and yet I won easily. I won all 7 swing states, popular, I won everything. And if they're 97% against, they give me only bad publicity or press. I mean, they're getting a license. I would think maybe their license should be taken away.
And a protest was held outside of Jimmy Kimmel's Hollywood studio, ABC, which has aired the late night show since 2003 for over 20 years. Now that show that has been suspended, this is something that's going to be going on. The plug has been taken off, and of course, this is going to be indefinite as far as when can we see Jimmy back on that network. Well, he has offers from other networks, is what we're hearing. But of course, it is the FCC chairman, Brendan Carr, calling those comments truly sick, and has said that his agency has a strong case for holding Kimmel, that is the network, the parent company, that's Walt Disney, accountable for spreading misinformation. A powerful 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck off the coast of Russia's far eastern Kamchatka, this is the peninsula, early today, rocking buildings and prompting authorities to issue a tsunami alert, which was later withdrawn. Videos posted on social media sites showed furniture and light fixtures shaking in homes, while another showed a parked car rocking back and forth on a street. And it's Venezuela that has conducted military exercises on Thursday in the Caribbean island. Well, this is the government saying that it's preparing its army after the activity of the US warships near its coast. It's the second of the 3 days of drills in the island. The defense minister has gone on to say that the exercises are part of an order given by the president in order to prepare. This is a preparation for an alleged threat of the US invasion to force a change of government. The Venezuelan army exercise includes 12 military ships, 22 aircrafts, as well as anti-aircraft defense equipment as well, along with others, and that is something that is being used in those drills.
Hoy nuestro comandante en jefe nos ha ordenado un ejercicio, una maniobra de campaña. Se llama así, maniobra de campaña Caribe Soberano 200. Caribe Soberano 200. Y se va a realizar en la isla de la Orchila, para más o menos referenciar aquí en este mapa que tengo atrás. Aquí está la Orchila, un territorio insular de 43 kilómetros cuadrados aproximadamente.
Robin now is a therapeutic robot programmed to act like a 7-year-old girl as it travels around nursing homes and hospitals as well as pediatric units, providing emotional support while helping to combat staffing shortages. With a large screen displaying cartoon-like features and a sleek, wide frame designed for hugging, Robin has become a familiar face in 30 healthcare facilities across 4 states. Robin is about 30% autonomous, while a team of operators working remotely controls the rest under watchful eyes of clinical staff. With each interaction, they collect more data and get closer to it being able to function independently so.
Primary goal of Robin to comfort patients during their stay in medical facilities and provide engagement, entertainment, emotional support. One of the examples is a pediatric use case where kids are admitted for a long hospital stay and they are experiencing different type of medical procedures, and a lot of them are painful. So Robin is a companion that stays with them
Yeah, I think the patients definitely know who she is. She takes turns in every patient's room, spending a little bit of time with them. And you can tell that the patients, when she, enters the room, they light up because they know it's their turn.
Now, along Italy's central coast on Thursday, it was driver Fabio Parone who raced across the flight deck of a Navy ship while chasing a world record. The fastest car on a boat, and it was last year that he set the Italian Timekeepers Federation's record on another aircraft carrier in southern Italy, hitting 152 kilometers per hour. Now on Thursday, this is on the coast near Rome, he aimed to reach 160 kilometers per hour and then hit the brakes before launching off the deck, so-called ski jump, and smashing into the cruise's ship station just 4. Now the race engineer in fact went on to say that he wasn't sure that the record was going to be attained or not.
Pensi subito alla concentrazione, ti accorgi di fare il record solo a metà strada. Sai se la macchina è partita bene, sai che arrivi bene. Se parti male, arrivi male.
La frenata com'è andata?
Credo un po' al limite, ma siamo arrivati su skate jump, ma va bene.
Sensazioni al momento della frenata?
No, pensi solo al tuo conto.
And with that, we're slipping into a short break. Back with a whole lot more on the other side. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Let's get you some entertainment news now. And it's Deepika Padukone, the actor who headlined the sci-fi blockbuster Kalki, will not be returning for its sequel. This comes soon after she exited Spirit with Prabhas, sparking questions across the industry. Is it just a matter of dates and commitments, or is Bollywood's biggest star walking away from mega projects to prioritize family after motherhood? Now, filmmakers say it's about professionalism. Fans call it unfair pressure. Take a look at this special report.
एक जान के अंदर दूसरी जान.
It was one of the biggest films of 2024, Kalki 2898 AD. A star-studded spectacle featuring Prabhas, Amitabh Bachchan, Kamal Hassan and Deepika Padukone. But as the sequel plans take shape, there's one name missing, Deepika Padukone. The actress has now been dropped from the sequel after her team made certain demands that didn't sit well with the film's producers. In an ex-post, Vijayanti Movies said they have parted ways with the actor as they were unable to find a partnership for a film that deserves that commitment and much more. Sources told NDTV that Deepika's team demanded a 25% hike in her fee and 5-star accommodations for a 25-member crew accompanying her. Producers reportedly felt that the revised terms were too steep and unsustainable, especially after already managing massive budgets for the first film. There's also the matter of Deepika's personal priorities. The actress recently welcomed her first child with Ranveer Singh. In an earlier interview, Deepika said that she now prefers strict 8-hour work days as she balances acting with motherhood. While this is entirely understandable, the makers of Kalki 2898 AD apparently found it difficult to accommodate such scheduling restrictions, especially for a film packed with VFX, action and tight timelines. Sources say the decision to part ways was mutual, with both sides realizing that the fit wasn't ideal for the sequel's scale. Kalki 2898 AD has already become a franchise to watch.
Record check kar raha.
But for the sequel, fans may see a new female lead step in. This is the second big film loss for Deepika this year, as she lost Prabhas starer Spirit over differences with the filmmaker Sandeep Reddy Vanga. As for Deepika, she continues to focus on motherhood and will next be seen in Singham Again and other major projects. With Sejal Gupta, NDTV Bureau Report.